Hi, welcome back. This is Neve, and this is my podcast on college life. This is my second episode. Let's get right into it. On your first day, the freshmen get to have like a class by themselves. Like there's no upperclassmen on campus. Glad for that. On the first, they have like a welcome weekend, so it's only like the RAs and the freshmen. On my first day, I went to my first bio class. And on that same day, I had biochemistry and then something else. But then there was like something for like the first years after that. I remember like going in and sitting down. I always sat at the back because I did not talk to a lot of people. So I sat down, started to talk about like what to expect from the class, and then we just went right into it. And I was there, I was like, I don't understand any of this. And I feel like I should have caught that on early enough to realize I don't want to do this major. I have no idea why I kept with it, and I probably should have we have an add drop period. I probably should have dropped the major entirely. I really should have. The first day is for the freshmen. It's like they have their time with the professor by themselves. They want to have one-on-one time with the freshmen. Like new students, new place. There could be new teachers as well, like they have to adjust in a way. So after like the first day, the upperclassmen come in and you get to experience your first day with them. You might find that you might become friends with some upperclassmen, but you have to really think, is these classes beneficial of my time? I had a class, I think it was like elements of foam. I'd already taken a few of her classes. She's a great person. She doesn't know how to teach college kids. This is for the upcoming fall. I had to drop her class because I don't think I could have another class with her. It wouldn't be a fun experience for me personally. So I'm just taking an online class instead. Once you like experience your first day as a freshman, I feel like it's the first week, you kind of get the hang of it. Personally, I think they should my school starts like September for the freshmen. It's September the 4th this fall. I think they should start them at the end of August, and then like the upperclassmen moving early. The upperclassmen moving the 5th, so like you get like technically it's not even the week, it's like a weekend. You get to meet the RAs. They get to help you out. I'm not just saying this, I'm saying this from my own experience, from being high schoolers to college kids. Because if you're like under the weather or something else is going on at home, you can have like a note. You don't have to show up to class all the time, I guess, because it's not required. You are an adult and it's gonna be on you. If your grade goes down a lot because you don't show up to class, that is on you. I recommend showing up to class because you're gonna miss like certain topics. Like they could, for science, if you miss class, you're basically in trouble. My other professors, if you miss one of his classes, you're basically gonna not do well. That is just how it is. College kids are also supposed to have more experiences. Your experiences rely on certain class, but you should really think about like, oh, if I want to do this class, I need to show up more or I'm gonna fail. And no one wants to have that on their record, that you're gonna fail a class because of it all. My strongest advice is to show up, because you get to learn more about what it's like to do the certain major. Like you get to, if you're in my major, radio and video production, you get to learn how to work a camera. You get to experience stuff in the studio. You get to direct. You get to learn the teleprompter. You get to do all this fun stuff. Anyways, classes are really hard to describe at my school because I only have like my school's like perspective. So at LaSalle, we have 4 different buildings. We have the Science Technology Center. We technically have the library. So that's down the basement, technically downstairs of the library. It's called DeWitt. We have Donahue Center, and then we have Yamawaki. And so Donahue is more like the fashion building. Sometimes it's also the comm. There's a certain floor that's for comm. Then we have DeWitt, which is like the labs. You have like journalism is there. Downstairs of DeWitt is where all of the radio and video classes take place. Sometimes PR does as well. Science and technology. So on the 3rd floor is where bio and chemistry is. We have your math classes in there. You could have English classes in there. Like that's really everything except that's basically your general ed class, really. Like all that. The Science Technology Center is where your ed class would be. If you're a person who needs extra help when you were in high school, or you realize later on, like, oh, I have an IEP now, I might need extra help on tests. That's what the special education systems were at certain schools. So when I was applying to LaSalle, I had to really look it up on where I would find stuff about that. I know my mom, when I was applying, she wasn't sure if this LaSalle was the good choice for me. You have to do a lot of research. How do you contact the special education system? Where is it? Do I have to get extra class because of it? Along the lines of that. Since I have ADHD and a learning disability, I just have to call them and say, hey, these are what I want on my IEP for this semester. I don't really need like extra time anymore. The last time I really used the extra time and like my actual IEP for that was freshman year during like science exams. It took me a while to even get a meeting with the person who was in charge when I was a freshman. So I finally had the meeting. It took me about, so I contacted her like I think probably the end of July, beginning of August. She still didn't contact me back. So I was like, okay. So as a freshman, I didn't fully understand like how to do certain things because I was like, I need to get this out of the way because I'm going to be a science major and do not want to fail a class. Finally had to go drive up to LaSalle, have a meeting, and she tells us like what to expect. I finally got my IEP. Now when I have to get my letter to give to my professors, because like you need a letter to prove like have extra time, you have this, and they have to sign it. I call them and say, hey, I need my letter, and they send it to me and like they check in. Like it's a quick 5-minute phone call. It's probably less than 5 minutes. Oh, because I'm calm now, I don't really use my IEP. I sent it to my professors, but a lot of them say like, oh, you won't get tests. The only one who I really send it to is the video professor, because he does a lot of hard tests and like there's limited time. You have to think about where you could get extra help if you don't have an IEP, and you can still go to the same building in the library, but where to get the help, how you organize appointments. So I had to learn that the hard way because I didn't have a class like the academic achievement class for the first semester because I did not know that was a thing. If I did, I honestly probably would have done it, and it probably would have been such a better experience for me, and I would have loved that. But unfortunately, it wasn't my first semester of freshman year. But like, so it's because I was not in the right major. I definitely was in the wrong major. That's what college is for. You get to learn from your mistakes. That's definitely one of mine. But you learn from it and you evolve as a person. That's all you can do. But where you would find them is they have tons of tutors. So it's a peer, summer, professional. For example, the fall semester of last year, I had to get tutored for philosophy. We had a specific format of our paper, and I really did not know how to do that. I also had both my suite mates were in that class, so at least like I had like friends who were in that class. I had to think about like, hey, I need help because I was not doing well in that class, and if I did, though, it probably would have been so much easier, but that definitely was not the case. Anywho, so when I went to the tour, I had to fix my whole entire paper after like I wrote like a draft of it because I did it completely wrong entirely, and well, I was really frustrated, of course. So, and the main issue was because of my argument for the paper. So when we were writing our papers, we had an argument, and this is the way my professor worded it. It just didn't make sense to me at all. So I went to the tutor instead because I felt more comfortable with the tutor. And like he explained it to me like, yo, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to, and he showed us like how to format the paper because my professor never actually described how to format the paper. But that is okay because the tutors are here for. They are here for the extra help. They are here to understand where you are coming from, so they know where to help you. This has been Lee. Join me next week. This has been College Life.